Hi, everybody, and welcome to our interview series, Inspiring Change, getting up close and personal with the amazing members of the Wellness Universe. My special guest today is Aimee Halpin. How are you, Aimee?
Hi, I'm fine.
So happy to have you here. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for being part of the Wellness Universe. So I just want to get started so we can learn as much about you and so the people out there can get to really know you, the person behind the page. So why don't you tell everybody what your Facebook page is and what your mission is?
Okay, I am the writer behind the Burn Hand Facebook page, and my mission started long before my page did because I'm a blogger. I have 5, maybe technically 6 invisible diseases.
Wow.
So I started blogging as a way to help people who had illness work through their illness, know that they weren't alone, and know that no matter how hard it is with that illness, you're not your illness. You just aren't. So primarily my page speaks about my diseases, which are hereditary hemochromatosis, porphyria cutanea tarda, Epstein-Barr virus, Hashimoto's autoimmune, and lastly, fibromyalgia was diagnosed, which as a secondary to fibromyalgia, most people suffer from depression. So those are the things that I talk about on my page a lot.
Wow. Well, first question, do you know how to spell those all?
Yes, I actually do, which is funny because I was an English major and I was a teacher. So when I started writing on my blog about those, I did a lot of research because I'm not a doctor, but I want people to be informed about their diseases. I want people to know what resources are available out there. So, so that's basically how I started with that. That transformed into my side business, which I wasn't really expecting, but I started a plan for how to help people who had autoimmune, what your trigger points were, what was causing you to flare, what's causing you to gain weight. It's not in your head. You really, with autoimmune, have to be very careful. So that spawned Vitalize You, which is my other page, and that tab is also on my blog because I let everybody know what supplements I was taking, what all natural methods I was using, not to cure myself because there's no cures, but there is a way to live without having to be in that much pain.
Is this something that you've always been someone who's into wellness, or was it more spawned from having these diseases and then working your way through it? Like, what made you want to then guide and help people?
The teacher aspect definitely makes me want to help people. I've always wanted to help people. Wellness part itself came from me getting frustrated with 17 years of doctors telling me, we can do no more. We've done everything. There's no cure. I have to have what's called phlebotomies for the rest of my life, which are pints of my blood taken. The Burn Hand actually came about for 2 reasons. The Burn Hand teaches best is a Tolkien quote, and I'm a Tolkien geek girl.
I saw that.
Yeah, so I love Tolkien. And the other thing is that porphyria is actually photosensitivity to light. So the porphyria people, there's a whole stigma around that. That's actually where some vampire lore comes in. The hand, basically, when I was at my lowest point with porphyria, my skin was actually burning. I had blisters all over my hands, all up my arms. And when they pop, the acid that was in them, it's literally like acid, burns your skin.
Oh.
So that was like my name, the Burn Hand, was twofold, because only people who had been through what I had would understand that.
Right. Do you find having your page and talking about it, has that actually helped heal you in a way? Sharing your journey?
Yes, 100%, because when I first started, I was in these support groups, and there was nobody as young as me at the time. I was 23. There was nobody who had this. There was nobody in this area. There was nobody I could talk to. So starting the blog basically about 5 years ago and going through that really helped heal me and helped heal a little bit of that inner scarring, the soul scarring I felt like was going on when I couldn't communicate what was happening to me. Because invisible diseases, you look fine. Nobody knew what was happening. Nobody knew how hard it was, you know.
You can't even imagine.
Yeah, it was just very, very difficult. I was getting married at the time. I had planned an outside summer wedding.
Mm-hmm.
Sure, if I could be outside, we just weren't sure what was going to happen. I definitely, advocate SPF 50. Some SPF 50 on your lips, because that's just something that I wish I'd have known a million things back then, but you never know,
right. Well, I mean, what an inspiring thing that you're doing to take something that's happened to you and then to try to help others with it. A lot of people, as you talked about depression, would go into that and maybe not come out of that or just feel sorry for themselves. So inspiring, the work that you're doing. And I'm sure you inspire thousands. I'm curious, what actually inspires you?
Well, I have on my Namaste Y'all shirt because I'm actually doing something really hard for me. I'm in yoga teacher training right now.
Oh, wow.
I'm doing a vinyasa 200-hour training, and people with fibromyalgia are in tons of pain. So what I wanted to do was prove to myself, number one, I can do this. It's mind over matter. I'm in pain anyway. Might as well get something out.
Might as well feel good through the pain.
Right, exactly.
Oh, good for you.
This huge learning process, because it's spiritual, it's wellness, it's mental, it's learning who you are through this practice. It's basically very raw on your soul and being vulnerable.
Well,
so yeah.
Sorry, I was going to say that's super, and you might be inspired by that, but I think that our audience, I'm certainly inspired right now. And then I just want to jump to one last question, because I know that you stand for a lot of things. I want to know that if you were on a world stage and someone handed you a mic and said you could say anything to the world, what is the one thing you would want to tell the world?
I think the one thing I would say is you are not your disease. You might have a disease, but don't let it define you. Don't let it become you. Don't ever let anyone tell you that you can't do something because you're sick, because you're not.
Perfect. Love that. Thank you, Aimee Halpin. And tell everybody where they can find you. What's your site?
You can find me on theburnhand.com, which is my blog, the Burn Hand Facebook page, or Vitalize You, which is my wellness supplement side.
Awesome. Thank you so much for being part of the Wellness Universe. Thank you for being with us today, and continue doing the amazing work that you're doing.
Thank you.
Have a great one.